Okay, welcome. This is John. So today I'm going to be talking about tricks you can buy in magic shops, and then different types of magic like close-up magic, parlor magic, stage, etc. And then we'll just talk about some of the advantages of doing close-up magic, cards versus coins. Okay, but first, and I hope you guys can see this, let's just do this thing right here. Watch. Now, a lot of people say there must be a hole in the ring. Well, the hole, there is a hole, but the hole is in here, and the hole is in here. The hole's through the middle. You want to take the rings apart, you just reach through the hole and pull the rings out like that. Or, you can do it this way, watch. That's part of a linking ring trick. Anyway, so let's get to the subject matter at hand here. So, as I said before, I'm going to talk about buying tricks in magic stores. So when I first started out, I would go into the magic store and buy something, and I would show it to a few people, and then 3 weeks later I would go in and buy something else, and I was kind of accumulating a lot of stuff. And the other thing is, a lot of those things that you buy require special props that you carry around. So while they're good in that you can learn how to present magic to people, which is a challenge for a lot of people, just saying the words, which they call patter. It's generally not the best way to go. You're better off buying books or DVDs when you first start out, and then learning to do real sleight of hand, and that way you don't have to carry around anything if you don't want to. You can go to somebody's home and borrow a few coins or a deck of cards or something like that. So you want to have some things that you can always do impromptu, meaning unprepared, and then like sort of 3/4 surrounded. So if you've got people over here, over here, over here, you're good. You may not want to necessarily have people behind you, but at least if they're sort of in that kind of a range, then you're good. And like I said, those magic store tricks do help you get started because they're easy to do generally and learn presentation. So let's just talk briefly about the different types of magic. You have close-up magic where you're doing maybe things with cards or coins or cups and balls, and you're doing it a few feet away from someone, maybe to one person or a few people. And then you've got what I'll call parlor, which is more like your audience is 15 or 20 feet away, and maybe you've got 5, 10, 20 people. And then of course you have stage, where you're up on a stage and you may have hundreds or even thousands of people. And on stage you may actually do illusions. Those are those big things where you like cutting a lady in half. And then there's also different specialty things like mentalism, where you're reading people's minds, or escapes. And escapes a lot of times can be done close-up, parlor, stage, etc. So when I was about 16 years old, I got this book. It's called The Amateur Magician's Handbook. It's from a guy named Henry Hay. I think I bought it for like $1.95. I'm sure you couldn't buy it for that anymore. But still, if you could find it around, maybe just in hardcover. I don't know if they even sell the soft copy anymore. It's a very good book. But I want to just talk about the difference between cards and coins, and he goes into that in that book there. So one of the things he says about doing coin magic is, first of all, people like money. It's very appealing to people. And coins are shiny. So even if you're on stage, although they're small, sometimes you can kind of wiggle them a little bit, and they'll glint in the light, and people even on stage can see them. And most coin tricks, thank God, are not mathematical. They're good just because of their simplicity. Basically, you've got vanishes when something disappears. You've got productions where you're producing a coin out of nowhere, and then you've got transpositions where things change place. For example, if I had a copper coin here and a silver coin here, and then they switch places, which essentially is a vanish from one area and a production in somewhere else, and a vanish from here and a production over there. So by their very simplicity, they're good and people like them. Now, the angles on coin magic can be difficult. If I was going to a cocktail party and I had to do several coin tricks, I might try to back myself into a corner so at least I don't have people behind me. You've got maybe people at least sort of in front of you. Makes it a little easier on the performer. So once again, back yourself into a corner if you could. Now, let's talk about card magic. What are the advantages of card magic? Well, the angles generally with cards are pretty good. You can oftentimes do things 3/4 surrounded or 100% surrounded. People tend to like those gambling themes where you're doing like magician versus gambler. And a lot of magicians, we actually do moves that a card cheat would actually use. And some card cheats have taken things from magic. There's similar technique involved. People tend to like to see that type of thing because a lot of people go to Las Vegas or they play poker. And many card tricks are actually easy to do. Some require no sleight of hand at all. That's a good thing and a bad thing because a lot of people's version of a card trick is something that they saw from their Uncle Joe, where their Uncle Joe will pull out a deck of cards or something and say, all right, pick a card, and then you pick a card, and then he does something, some kind of a shuffle and goes, all right, that's your card. And you go, yeah, that's great. You know, like, it's not necessarily the most qualified people doing those types of tricks, so therefore you get people that hate card tricks because they think that's what a card trick is. They've never seen a really good magician do card magic. So, as I said, some of those tricks require no skill, some require lots of skill, but some require no skill and are based on mathematical principles, and there's just a lot of counting, and you can lose your audience really quickly. And as I said before, a lot of times these are not people that are magicians. They're just somebody that maybe knows one card trick, and very often when they show it to you, they mess it up anyway. So I would say if you're going to do it right and learn the tricks well. So this is John, and thanks for watching.